again, people, welcome back to my channel. Here I am preparing for a Gabriel welcome to Arsenal video. That looks done and dusted. We have Arsenal Twitter going wild, tracking his plane to Luton Airport, tracking his cab to the Arsenal training ground. It looks like that's done and dusted. Fabrizio Romano has more or less confirmed it. And David Ornstein has confirmed that he is in London now. He is having his medical. So it looks like all steam ahead with that move. Left-footed centre-back coming in there. Pretty young, but a lot of potential if rumours are to be believed. Obviously, this video, as you can tell from the title, it's about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, an Arsenal boy through and through. Just doesn't seem like it's worked out. If you've been a subscriber of my channel for a little while, then my views of Maitland-Niles have been as inconsistent as his performances for Arsenal Football Club. I feel like we as fans want him to do well. We have hoped he would do well and make that right-back position his own. I was hoping that a year or two ago, but it just wasn't to be. Now, before we get into it, OneFootball, as always, download the app, link in the description box below. Add me on Instagram, add me on Twitter, Turkish LDN. LDN stands for London, because I got a few comments asking what that actually stands for. And yeah, keep track of new content and everything else on the social media channels. Like I said, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, it's a bit of a shock today. I don't think people expected it. I think people were looking for Aubameyang contract signing or Gabriel welcome to Arsenal coming through. But it's a move the other way. It's a move out of the club. I think finally we have some movement out of the club. It might not be the player we all wanted on the top of the list as leaving the club, but it's a player that it just hasn't worked out for over the years. I know people are going to be shouting down and commenting saying, he's our best right back, he's our best. No, he is not. No, he is not. Don't kid yourselves. You know, I'm not even saying Bellerin's our best right back. They've both been inconsistent. All I do know is that Maitland-Niles has had the chances to make that position his own. Bellerin has been ravaged by injuries. Forget his performances for a sec. His injuries alone have given Maitland-Niles the opportunity to make that position his own. And under 3 different managers, he hasn't. And one of those managers is Wenger. One of those managers couldn't speak any higher of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. But it hasn't worked out. Emery, same thing. Fullback, left back, right back. Arteta, at the beginning, it looked like maybe he preferred Maitland-Niles to Bellerin, but I feel like it's about Bellerin getting back to match fitness, or so it seems, considering that towards the end of the season, aside from the odd big game here or there where Maitland-Niles played as left wing back, Bellerin and Cedric have been rotated on the right side of the defence. And in my opinion, that's probably how we're going to go into the season. Again, if you know me, you know I'd sell Bellerin and bring in a Max Aarons, for example, and really fix up the fullback position. But it does seem like Bellerin or Cedric, it'll be interesting to see actually. One of them will be our starting right back. Arteta speaks highly of Cedric. When he came and signed the deal, Arteta said he is our best attacking right back, which says a lot about Bellerin and Bellerin's progression and development since he broke through to the side. Because when Bellerin broke through, the main thing about him was his attacking outlet and presence and productivity, getting into key positions, his pace. But a few years later, he pretty much has none of that. None of that. So I understand the nerves of the fan base. I understand some of the reaction, the knee-jerk reaction, but take a step back and understand that £20 million for Maitland-Niles is good business. I see man on Twitter saying, how can we let him go for 20 million? Oh man, mad. 20 million for Maitland-Niles is great business. Yeah, great business. A utility player who wants to leave the club, and one that, in my opinion, won't hold down the position that he wants to hold down at a Wolves. He'd have to move down to a lower club, in my opinion, for him to get the position he wants. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, with Wolves, a bit of background information on them. Johnny Otto injury, 6 to 9 months. Obviously, he is their starting left back, but he can play right back too. Good up and down the pitch, to be honest. Defensively and offensively, Johnny has performed well for Wolves over the last year or two. That injury is a big one. Obviously, they got Ruben Venegra, who can cover at left back or left wing back, whatever formation they choose to play. So it will be interesting to see where Maitland-Niles slots in. Because if you look at central midfield, or if you look at their midfielders in general, they got Jordan, who they signed last year, but a mix of injuries and inconsistencies have led to a very quiet season. Very quiet season. He did score in his debut, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and did get an injury in the same game or something like that. A goal and then injured in the next game. So we haven't heard very much of him throughout this season. But he's a young midfielder they just signed last summer. Ruben Neves. I'd love him at our club. Ruben Neves at Arsenal Football Club would be perfect. You know, and to be honest, I don't know why I haven't discussed it before, because when you think about it, Ruben Neves, Europa League, well, they're not in it this season. Surely we are a step up. Surely he, well, financially would be a step up. Footballing wise, we've been pretty much on even ground the last couple of years. But I'm sure Neves knows if he was to sign for us with the potential around the squad moving forward, he could be part of something special. But we'll see. Moutinho, you know, you're not moving him. Experience, technique, everything in abundance, and one of the key members of that team. And then Donker. Donker's obviously been moved around a lot, and that goes hand in hand with Nuno Espirito Santo's philosophy. I mean, he's got a few players where positional flexibility is a must. You look at Donker, he's played in defence, he's played in midfield. You look at Saiss, he's played in defence, he's played in midfield. You look at Traore, he's played as a forward, he's played as a wing back. So Santo really likes positional flexibility, and Maitland-Niles does offer that. What's interesting is he moving for first team football? Is he moving for the position he wants to move for? I'm not quite sure at the moment how it will work, considering, okay, Matt Doherty, certified right back. There's no moving him out the side. Left back injury, why not stay here? We're going to go play left back. So I guess this move will tell a lot about Maitland-Niles and how it's really gone at Arsenal Football Club. Like I said, David Ornstein broke the news today, 20 million to Wolves, 4-year deal it's looking like. And also I want to reiterate that on the 14th of July, Ornstein actually came out, Ornstein and The Athletic obviously, confirming that Maitland-Niles has come to the conclusion that the writing is on the wall for his career at Arsenal. And that was a direct quote from Ornstein. Like I said, 14th of July, if you want to go back and read that article, it's on The Athletic, or go find the tweets from Ornstein. But to me, that's an indication that he wants to go. You know, and when a player wants to go, what can you do? What can you do? Especially a player that hasn't managed to hold down a starting berth for 3 years. You know, understandably, it is sad. He has been here since 2003. Hayland Academy product. Bags of potential early on. It just hasn't developed in the way we would have hoped and liked. As much as we want to put on rose-tinted glasses and act like the Maitland-Niles sale is detrimental to us, is crazy business. It really isn't. 20 million for Maitland-Niles, perfect business for Arsenal. How we reinvest that money will be interesting, because if it helps us get Partey, if it helps us get Awar, what will fans be saying about Maitland-Niles then? At the end of the day, like I said, he wants to go. He hasn't held down a starting berth in the side for 3 years. Bags of chances. Bellerin's had like 3 big injuries in the last 3 years, and he still hasn't held it down, you know? And constantly reiterating what his natural position is, and having analysed it a bit over the years, even he's not sure what his natural position is. And I'm going to get into it. He made his debut against Galatasaray Champions League match, coming on for Ramsey, 2014, December. It feels like it is a long time ago now, 6 years, but it's mad when you think about it. He's only 22, he's turning 23 this Saturday. So happy birthday to him for Saturday. He might get the move he wants, and he needs his career needs refreshing. That's what it is. And maybe they won't give him the position he wants, but at least it'll be somewhere new. At least there'll be less eyes. At least there'll be less pressure, because there's no two ways about it. There is less pressure at Wolves. Maybe not so much from the ownership aboard, but from the fan base, definitely. Arsenal fans expect a lot more from their side and players than Wolves do. So that works in his favour. And this is what I'm talking about. In 2015, after playing on the wing for the under-23s, just before he joined Ipswich on loan, he said after the game, "It felt great being back on the wing. I haven't played there in a while, so it's great to be back in my natural position. It means I can run at players more and use my pace to beat them." Now, in my opinion, it's like you could do that at fullback too. But how many men have I seen you beat? Very few, if I can remember any at all. Like, the problem with Maitland-Niles and Bellerin too, they very rarely want to overlap, let alone take defenders on. It feels like a mix of injuries and a lack of confidence in that position stifles the attacking side of their game. Maitland-Niles can offer more on the attacking side. We've seen Bellerin offer more, but neither do. You know, that's why it spoke so much that Arteta did mention the attacking outlet and productivity of Cedric when he came in. It's something that all the big teams need now. You need fullbacks that, as well as defending, they can get up there and cause problems in attack too. You can see it everywhere. Look at the Champions League final. Look at the winners of this league. Look at what Guardiola did when he came in his first season. Well, in his first full summer window in terms of bringing in 4 fullbacks. That position is so vital now, especially when you've got a stiff midfield like we do. And it looks like we're not going to be fixing it. Over the last 3 seasons, Maitland-Niles has started 34 games. 3 seasons, he started 34. Yes, he's played in a lot more off the bench and whatnot, but in the league, 34 games. Not good enough. Not good enough, especially considering the chances he's had over the years. The amount of injuries Bellerin's had, the way Arsenal fans are talking now, saying, how are we letting our best right-back leave? If he was our best right-back, wouldn't the position be his by now? Wouldn't we have sold Bellerin and made Cedric Maitland-Niles his backup? That's why it'd be interesting to see what Arteta does, because I wouldn't be surprised if Cedric goes in as our starting right-back come the game against Fulham. I would not be surprised at all. That's going to be interesting to see, but at the same time, we also have fans moaning about we only got Bellerin and Cedric at right-back. Oh, how many do you want at right-back? 2 is enough. 1 that starts, 1 that backs up. That's it. That's all we can really afford at Arsenal Football Club as well. The bigger teams don't even have more than 2. I say 30, ours ain't 30, but 2 30 fullbacks they can rely on, let alone us. So some of our fan base needs to take it down a notch or 2. This quote comes in 2017 from Arsene Wenger. He can play left back, right back and central midfield. Of the 3 positions, maybe the least natural for him is left back, but he adapts and he's a good defender. Now in 2019, yeah, and the reason I got these quotes back to back, yeah, there's about 18 months to 24 months in between these quotes, but Maitland-Niles came out last year and said, I'm a midfielder by trade, either central or on the wing. It's all the same to me. I'm not a defender, so I do get a lot of stick about my defending being poor. Now, I don't get this. I'm a midfielder by trade, yeah? So if that's what you do by trade, how can you then say either central or on the wing? It's all the same to me. Central midfield and the wings are nothing alike. The attributes needed for each position are nothing alike. The expectations of each position are nothing alike. So what does he mean? I'm a midfielder by trade, either central or on the wing. Do you know your position? Hence why at the start of the video I said, my man doesn't even really know his position. You know what I mean? In 2015, he's saying he's a natural winger. In 2019, I'm a midfielder by trade, central or on the flanks. Yeah, what are you talking about? And a lot of stick about my defending being poor. And he did go on. This one was an interview with Football London. And he did go on and continue to talk about how he's still learning. He's still getting used to the defensive side. How growing up, part of his trade was attacking players. Part of his trade was running with the ball, causing problems creatively. But my thing is, why didn't you do that at fullback? Just because you got brought back a position doesn't mean you can't do that. Saka is not a left wing back or left back, yeah? That's a prime example. I didn't even write this down, but Bukayo Saka, yeah? He's not a wing back. But what did he do there? He knew how to perform well in that role. But he's still not a wing back. He could still beat players from that position. He could still create problems from that position. That's someone that I would believe if you turned around and said, yo, I'm a winger. But with Maitland-Niles, what makes me think you're a winger? What makes me... If anything, I'd say midfield is probably what looks like his best position, attribute-wise, and from what I've seen in the last 3 years. But at the same time, even there, he's not good enough to help us achieve the goals we want to achieve. Now, as a utility player on the bench, 100% I'll take him. Someone that can slot in various positions, pacey, athletic, passionate, Arsenal boy. I'd love it. But he wants to go. He wants to leave. He wants change. So what can we do? Arsenal fans, you know, it's a strange one when I'm telling us to stop moaning, you know, because I'm probably one of the biggest moaners of them all. So for me to tell you to stop moaning about Maitland-Niles being sold, because it's a celebration, and I don't mean it's a celebration because Maitland-Niles, his name is tarnished like a Mustafi or a Xhaka. It's a celebration because we're getting £20 million for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. In this market, it might not seem like a lot, but when you look at the history of transfers we have made, we never tend to win in a transfer situation. Whether selling or buying, we never tend to win. You know, it hasn't been a long time since we've won. And I don't even mean Premier Leagues or Champions League. I mean players. You know, on one hand, your people will say we got bumped for Pepe. On the other hand, we're selling Fabregas for below market value. It just doesn't make sense, some of the things that we do, you know? And fans over the years, oh, we can't sell him, no one wants him. We can't sell him, no one wants him. Why are you doing the job of the board? The board have to explain to us, not other fans. I don't want other fans telling me we haven't got the money for that. Other fans telling me we can't buy him, we can't sell him. How do you know? Because every other team are managing to do it, right? Every other team are selling their dead wood. Look at Liverpool and what they've made off of Bournemouth for certain individuals. Bumped. They bumped Bournemouth. Same way, in my opinion, we're bumping Wolves. You know, on the flip side of the coin, in 2-3 years, might turn around. Maitland-Niles might be a star. He might be moving on, 25, 26 years of age, to a Man City, to a Liverpool, to a Dortmund, whatever it is in a few years, if he does, because I do wish him the best. Yeah, he's Arsenal through and through, but it just hasn't worked out. Arsenal through and through is not the make or break of it all. You got to be Arsenal through and through. You got to want to play for the club, and you've got to. If you're given an amount of chances that Maitland-Niles has, if you love the club as much as you say, then in reality you have to knuckle down and get going, get to grips with it, pick it up quickly. Not 2.5 years later saying you still don't get the defensive side of the game and you're still learning. I'm sorry, but 2.5 years in, how much time do you need to learn? To reflect back to your trade as a child or growing up and saying, yeah, I didn't concentrate much on the defensive side. That's your problem. That's the problem of the coaches bringing you through. Modern day football now, you've got to concentrate on the defensive side, from striker to centre-back. So that's not our problem. That's your problem. Do you get me? So it is what it is, you know. Maitland-Niles, Arsenal through and through. It's a shame it hasn't worked out for him. It is what it is. I just want some of our fans to just calm down a little bit. It's not the end of the world. And movement out of the club is good, especially now when we need an overhaul. And I'll reiterate to end the video that he wasn't on the top of my list to get out, but he was on the list. And if you're on the list, just go and I'm happy. You know, I'm happier when I see Mustafi leaving, or if I see Xhaka leaving, or if I see Luis leaving. I'll be a lot happier for different reasons. With Maitland-Niles, I'm happy because we're getting 20 mil and the player gets another chance at another decent club. You know, Wolves have done dirt over the last couple of seasons, overachieving, good manager, good squad. Looks like he'll fit in well in terms of positional flexibility. We'll see how it works out for him. So in my opinion, this is a win-win for both parties. So us fans need to calm it down a little bit. Just round the corner, probably tomorrow, Gabriel will be announced. Aubameyang's contract will probably shortly be announced after that. And then we move. Obviously, we've got Liverpool in the Community Shield end of the week. I doubt we'll get any more signings in. If we do, I'll be fucking surprised. But I'm expecting at least 2-3 more before the season actually starts. I need to double check when the transfer window actually closes. I know it's October, but is it the actual beginning of October, or is there a certain date in the middle or at the end? I'm gonna research that before I do my Gabriel video. I just want to say thank you for the support for the lives that I've done over the weekend. So many of you tuned in, so many of you lot shared, liked, commented, done all of that stuff. And I just want to say thank you, because obviously that was my first real stint doing lives. And yeah, it worked out well. So you guys are going to get more. Like I said in the video, me and Deluded twice a week, me and Rants twice a week. And aside from that, you'll get me here and there individually to discuss anything that I feel is worth discussing. If it's not worth discussing, I'll probably leave it, or I might just add it into a rumour roundup somewhere along the line. But if it's worth discussing, if it looks official, if I feel like the people need to delve further into it and look at the bigger picture, I will provide the videos. To end it off, download OneFootball, link in the description box below. Add me on Instagram, add me on Twitter, Turkish LDN, Turkish London. And until the next time, which will be the Gabriel Welcome to Arsenal video, I'm 99.9% sure of it. Until the next time, people, I am out. Love, love, love.